When we last left our heroes, Garnet was about to tell everyone her brilliant idea.
Oh, Ash, stop eating. Sorry. Was there more to that intro? Should I start?
Oh, there was gonna be, but it's funnier this way.
Oh, fuck, I'm so on the spot. Okay. So, I was cooking with my brain. So we have this.
Okay. Carry on.
Shut up. So we have a big problem, right? But what if we made it smaller?
How?
We enlarge reduce spell. We reduce the sage into little bitty pocket-sized sage so that she unravels from the firmament.
Like she wouldn't be tangled anymore because she'd pass through. Is it? I mean,
Well, she's
Does
all
that
like
work that
tied
way?
up, so like she's all like tied up from what like
yeah.
so
The
then,
the first thing that just comes to my mind though is how are you going to do that on the sage? Can you do that from far away?
well, we have many problems to tackle. One, getting there, two, the herald, and three, how do we get her out? And I solved one of them, so I'm aware that there's two other problems. Just-
Okay, I'm down with the enlarge reduce. Do you know how to cast that spell?
No, but it's an easy spell to cast. It's level 2, and sorcerers and wizards can cast them. We just got to go get the scroll from Kamish or see if they have it.
It's definitely doable.
It's IOTH
I'd assume.
Academy. They have it.
They got that.
Ah,
You're sure,
so, yeah.
you're sure that'll work as intended?
Oh.
Reduce, and so
But it's better than me using void magic to unravel the firmament and possibly open a hole into the universe.
Agree.
If you want me to try that, I could.
I mean, perhaps not, but maybe there's a way to kind of do both. I assume it's kind of thing where if you use a lot of your magic, then it might be more likely to be unstable. But if you just use a little bit of it, along with your idea of enlarge reduce, then it'll be more stable, likely to succeed on both fronts.
Yeah, I'm not sure if void magic, its interaction with the firmament is more like putting water on fire or oil on fire. So I don't know if it's gonna completely.
So even just a little bit of it
explode
could be big boom. Okay.
I don't know how anything about the firmament, but your related friend there, Athalor, Mr. Onderood, not your dad, the one at the school,
Mia Heffel
that guy, might know.
about using the enlarge reduce.
The firmament and its properties, interactions, stuff like that.
Yes.
If we cared about messing with it, but
he'd be an excellent consultant. He's very well learned in matters of metaplanar geometry. At least I believe so. Citation needed.
Oh well,
Accurate.
I also have a solution to problem number 2. I've been doing a
you're
lot
on
of
a roll.
cooking. Of course, we didn't have a week to think about this. It's only 24 hours.
You have 20 intelligence. This is just,
To get to the sage, Athalor, your book was like some kind of. You're able to locate her somewhat, right?
Vaguely. It's kind of like following a map of Vijaya, but it's all moving and also imprecise.
Well, that could maybe be some kind of direction if we were to shadow walk and use that as our sort of GPS. Are we loving this or hating this?
I assume shadow walk from within Underwood.
I don't think it matters where we come from, unless DM corrects me on this.
it'd be easiest from inside of Onderood. The shadow paths are winding and different from a lot of others, so it may not be as necessary. But again, the gyre is a unique dimensional construct. So the ins and outs of this, you are once again doing new things with untested magic.
And
so I can tell you, go ahead.
As far as Athalor's concerned, finding the sage using the book is like finding a needle in a haystack in a Category 5 hurricane. There's a lot of spinning things that are pretty...
Is the
You can
shadow
also
walking
scry her and,
Yeah.
Is shadow walking inherently void magic?
No, it's shadow magic.
Oh, okay.
So a mix of light and dark.
The power of
Mhm.
contrasts and paradox.
Yeah, I get it. I guess it would be easier to, get inside the store from the parking lot than from another country. So I get it in Onderood.
And then shadow walk from there.
Yeah, and we can maybe use the scrying orb to help pinpoint or help assist with that.
It'll create a sensor. That's a more concrete object that we could go to.
The only thing is, what do we do about the herald?
Unless there's some kind of way to shield all of our minds from the influence, a distraction, I think, is kind of the only thing that comes to mind.
Say, discovering his true name.
I was gonna say, I wonder if banishment would be more powerful if you knew the entity's real name.
Yes.
Yes, my brain says yes.
But that's a fantastic idea. But that does require waiting until at least the end of the month. Or whenever the moon disappears.
It's going to be
Is
about a month. Yeah.
If there's like some weird void way that I can make the moon go away. I'm not gonna swallow the moon. Chill out, DM. I'm not. We're not eating the moon. I'm just like go night night. Just do a quick turn. Like. I'm just now I'm spitballing. The rest was very concretely made up. Now I don't know. I'm brainstorming.
Yeah, just throw the void sphere at the moon and profit.
No.
Let's not do that.
That's bad.
I'm sure the moon's important for something that science will figure out at some point.
This side of the world has a moon. We could just go to the other side of the world where the moon isn't there. Spheres, right? There's a side of the planet where there isn't a moon.
Roll
that be
a nature check for me, please.
Daytime?
It's a sphere.
Yeah, in science we call that daytime.
I would also allow a religion check on this. So, the pearl moon, is governed by the Titan Raelta. And its intention is to be a waypoint, a source of light, of guidance, of inspiration, of solace to the world.
We need it gone.
And that's why the spell only works on a new moon. It is not enough for the moon to not be there right now. The moon has to not appear at all, because that changes for the whole night, because that means that its soothing light cannot pervade the world and therefore interfere with this spell. So void magic, maybe, again, untested stuff, but what has to happen is that the moon needs to not do stuff. It needs to not be there.
No moon in the void.
There is no moon in the void. That's correct. But the void is a bad place to be overall.
True.
There are pluses and minuses. You're really bringing up the estate agent's listing which says, comfy view with excellent sunlight. There's only 3 walls.
Well, are there other planes where there's not a moon? Any plane lovers here?
No, because the moon passes through. So the moon passes through the underworld, and it shines on the mortal world and the other world alike, and it goes all the way up into the Sky Kingdom.
So everything gets hit?
All 4 kingdoms are affected by the moon and the sun. The sun makes a very similar journey. The sun passes through.
Silent City or Dream?
Silent City would not have the moon. Dream, if somebody dreams of the moon, it could happen. That's the problem with Dream. It's inherently unstable, but you could create a false reality that would be amenable to such things.
Oh. Okay, also a question. Is there any other Infernals like true names aren't known besides the Herald? Is Herald the only one?
The Grey Jester is Bealfagor, Mirror Keeper is Imago, the Rune that walks is Tillabek, the Destroyer is Uzul, the Serpent is Zethius, Grey Jester is Bealfagor. No, I think the Herald is the only one. What was that?
What about the Scorpion? The dead one.
Scorpion. That one's harder to find, but it's not a
Unknown.
complete unknown.
Gotcha.
I guess I want to bring up this actually maybe there's a lot of merit to doing this because all the other infernal names are known besides the Herald, so surely trying to keep it secret for a good reason. So if we figure it out, that might actually scare and distract them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not saying we shouldn't do this, just putting it out there.
I'm in.
We knew
Okay.
that already, but
There's another factor, not just about the moon. This is a 9th level spell. This is 3rd circle magic. I will not be strong enough to cast this by myself. I will need to copy this spell into other forms that you can understand. So that us, or now more powerful sources can make this happen.
okay.
Isn't there that like elemental wellspring in IOTH's office that has
I-
a shitload of magic?
We can use that to power the magic. I'm not sure. Did you say the Silent City is? Would we have any trouble moving energy between there and the Silent City if we were to charge up the quill? Is that fine? I'm pretty sure that's okay.
I think you'd need more power than the quill can hold.
Mm,
Because remember, you need to have the power, but you also need to be able to contain the power. Because the elemental wellsprings are such a powerful source that you can like pull from it all the time, but you don't have a big enough bucket to cast a 9th level spell by yourself. You know what I mean?
Would we literally
the quill
just...
can hold a 9th level spell and a 5th level spell in terms of overall power.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah,
Probably
it's got
shouldn't have
20
done that.
points and it takes 13 to cast the 9th.
Well, in that case, it's just you governing the spell without it getting out of your control, because that's the other part
Mhm.
of it. So you have the vessel, you have the power, you have the vessel. It's forming the matrix and not losing control of it.
And getting to the Silent City. Garnet, can you handle that?
Yeah. Been there. Done that.
Oh, and this is going to be Mason's first time seeing it as
Not on mushrooms. Like from
or
that
as
one
the
time.
dragon.
Yeah, it was dragon one time. We were very high for the other time. Not very high. That's an exaggeration.
Yeah. But that scroll that Lozern gave me, I can maybe help control the power. Maybe that can help you. I can take in and control the power and you can just funnel it
You
for
would
your needs.
definitely be the best vessel in the Silent City. I feel like being there would do probably put most of us off of our game. Doesn't seem the most hospitable place.
It's very calming. It's very silent, so I think we can focus.
Is it enforcedly silent there, Gnomes? I don't think so, right?
There's
It's just the
no
name.
there's no natural sound. No sound occurs there except what you bring with you,
Okay, cool. So we can still have verbal components.
which is good because you all cast a lot of spells the last time you were there, and that'd be awkward.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a plot hole. When Garnet says, "You will be alone, just like me."
Sorry, what?
Because
You're muted. You're muted. 1 XP. Okay, so find real name
yes.
in the Silent City. Shadow walk to the sage using the book and scrying. Tell the herald by his name to fuck off, banishment style.
Yes.
Reduce the sage to pocket size. Carry her back home. The end.
Almost sounds feasible.
And workable.
How does this always happen? It seems we take some crazy task and then actually manage to make it seem workable.
Yeah.
Breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. Excellent cooking.
You're not going to fight an Infernal. whatever, you know?
Now go read
Yeah.
that f***ing scroll about high magic.
At what point do we let El now know about any of this?
That's a
She
fantastic question.
definitely she
As soon
couldn't
as
win,
possible?
right? But like, if we tell her we're trying to find out an Infernal's real name, she might not be a fan.
For the reason of getting the sage back, which she is on board with, and it seems like a probably better idea than many right now.
You know, attempting the 9th level spell using, you know, the blood of an Infernal, going to the Silent City to do it, and just a bunch of kids, no
Then
supervision.
she would say, okay, that's too dangerous for Garnet or Athalor to do. Why don't I attempt or have some others attempt, and then we just have her help
Then we don't have
out.
to do the work.
I mean, yeah, so why don't we go tell her?
I'm also not sure how.
What?
I'm nervous about telling her about this, and he sort of waves the book. She
I don't
needs
think-
to know, but I don't want to. You know what
I don't
I'm
think
saying?
she needs to know the banishment thing. I think that could be plan A.
Yeah,
And-
I mean the book containing all the really evil spells.
Yeah, the thing that we're going to use directly to do this whole thing.
If you know what I mean, she needs to know, but I don't want to tell her.
Or don't tell her.
He's gonna ask.
Don't show it to her.
Say what, I left it in my room? Like, what?
No, we just tell her that we're gonna
We
shadow walk.
stumbled a-
We're gonna shadow walk. We're doing the sage and take her, and we need her help with the herald because I don't think he's gonna willy nilly want to get banished. So a few extra counter spells wouldn't hurt.
I mean, true. Maybe we don't have to tell her about learning the Infernal's true name. This
Yeah,
seems
that's
like
my
it's-
beef. Our beef that we have with him.
I mean, he is a cunt.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll probably also need Master Elno in order to get into Underwood, without as much ceremony.
Why can't you just ask your father to dinner and invite us?
For the same reason that you don't turn up in Bronth for stealthy activities.
I go to dinner whenever I want. Does your family not like you?
No. They like me, but they won't be a big fan of me freeing the sage.
No, you can just be like, hey, let's have dinner, great dessert. Okay, let's all go to the bathroom and shadow walk out of there.
Like,
And then when
come Mantra, come Garnet, it's time for team bathroom. We must all together evacuate
Yeah.
our bladders, as we all do at IOTH Academy.
I think when things happen and you're on record to be there, that's kind of suspicious.
I mean, we could just leave for some reason. Leave, but not actually leave. Look, I'm gonna shadow walk us back to IOTH Academy.
I think people might be able to put two and two together. I'm just
Oh, come on. I'm shadow walking us back home. They could believe that.
Gone and the sage is gone. That is basically confirming.
Well, they don't have fucking cameras in the firmament. How would they know she's gone?
yeah. Would that actually be?
That's a good question.
How would they know?
Detectable?
How would they know? How would they
Oh,
know?
what? I don't know anymore. Maybe they wouldn't.
Maybe
And if they
wouldn't.
do, it's sussy that they do know.
What do I know about the banishment spell?
Jack and
Nothing.
shit.
I don't know anything about the banishment spell. Actually, someone more intelligent than me is going to have to
Should
do with
I?
it.
Me, more intelligent person.
Yes. What is Garnet?
Oh,
What
the smart
does
one.
Mantra know about the
Oh.
banishment spell?
It starts with B.
Oh, save us, Mantra.
Okay.
18.
Banishment. Banishment forces the target creature out of the current plane of existence by sheer force of will. However, all creatures have natural inertia to them, metaphysical inertia, that inevitably pulls them to the world that they're from, the world that they belong to. So if you banish a mortal from the mortal realm, at the end of the spell, you're basically going to push them into the ethereal plane, into a pocket dimension. But when that magic wears off, metaphysical inertia will just pull them back because this is where they belong. Whereas if you banish an elemental, metaphysical inertia wants that elemental to be in the underworld in the elemental well springs. So if you hold that spell for the entire duration, it leaves them there. When the energy of the spell dissipates, it leaves them there because that's where they belong. Onderud is a dimensional pocket suspended between the mortal world and the other world, so it's already very wibbly wobbly. But her getting stuck in the firmament is not a natural consequence. It is not something that ever should have happened. Hey, do you want a plus 1d4 knowledge die?
Yeah.
Great. Add 1d4 to that roll.
All right. 3. Not bad.
Okay, 21 total. So, do you remember how at the Battle of Onderud, in Lamriel's laboratory, he had this weird metal concoction that was like expanding and zooming into the gyre?
Yup.
And that it was effectively used as a teleporter between the laboratory and the gyre chamber, the heart of Onderud. The battle between Lamriel, Hadarai, and the Sage occurred down in that laboratory. So with a 21, the DC on this was 20. What likely happened is that because you were in this pocket dimension where that's a little bit weird, next to this incredibly intensely dimensionally folded phenomena, she got banished into it. The banishment spell and the gyre interacted, and she got banished into the gyre. And the gyre, because it's a folding of space, she passed through that and is now, and also one of the points of all that apparatus down there to sort of expand and zoom into the gyre was to access the Hungry Dark. That was the purpose of those experiments. Kind of like using the quantum realm instead of going to space to get to space. That was the original purpose of that equipment.
That all would imply that having access to that apparatus would make it significantly easier to locate the Sage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you were down there, it would be way easier.
However, moment. Not sure explains all that.
If the Sage is entangled in there and has passed through there to the firmament, anybody who's attuned to the gyre, if things start jangling around, might notice things.
I thought that's what they might notice. After Mantra does all the complicated stuff.
The inertia, and then by the apparatus there, just sent to a very specific spot. So if we get there to that spot, we'd be able to locate the Sage way easier. And then could shadow walk there because we know where we'd be going.
And then Garnet shadow walk out with the Sage. Bring her back to the academy. Mason and I try to return to Onderud and look normal.
Well, you guys could always come with us.
I think it'd be far more suspicious if I also left with the Sage.
So let's blame it on Brantha and
No.
me?
No. Wait. How long could we keep her small?
I mean, look up the spell, unless I should roll for this.
No, if it's in the spell description, you'd know it.
It is a 1 minute. But don't you have like extended spell to extend the duration if needed?
We could find a way
Mr.
to
Sorcerer?
extend it.
No, wait, you're not a sorcerer.
He is
You're
a sorcerer and a wizard.
Oh, fuck.
I'm a
Okay.
Morty class. I don't have that particular piece of magic, but I'm sure it could be learned. But I do also have this thing called a potion of doubling. And if it was given to the Sage, she would be under the effects of any spells for twice as long, which would be a good
2
start.
minutes.
All I'm saying is that there's a world where perhaps we could chain together some manner of making the Sage. Regular magical obfuscation probably won't work as well in Onderud, but just some sly being small might get under the noses of people who are looking especially for magical trickery. You could just take her out in your pocket.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
she
you?
also has to be willing. So how do I explain? Hey, let me. Oh, I'm getting you out of here. Except everything that is about to happen.
I'd assume that, yes, she'd be pretty down for that.
Yeah.
And how many times could you cast that spell?
How many scrolls do I need to bring?
I guess we
mean-
could have a decent amount, several. That's probably.
Her lantern would also shrink. Is that a problem?
Probably not.
That's a little baby light. What if that baby light is what's protecting
Just
herself?
wear a jacket with heavy pockets.
She
Take
would
the
also-
lantern, cast a spell. Oh, would that hurt her if I took your
No,
lantern? She's gonna be
but then
pissed.
you'd come back with the sage's lantern, which would arouse some suspicion.
Maybe being smaller is fine, and if she's smaller as well, then same amount of protection. Maybe. I don't know.
We need permission to go on to. Can't we just take the fucking circle? Show up.
I mean, yes,
Like the
but that
political
circle
implications, right?
that circle does end up in the middle of a highly guarded area.
Wait, I just remembered. Doesn't Henan have a hat that allows you to disguise as anyone? I could disguise myself as a traitorous family ass bitch and show up as a traitor family person and do sussy stuff.
I thought you were gonna disguise for Sage.
No.
Mm.
Well, we want to blame this on somebody, right?
That's one option, yes. Though I feel like they might all have alibis.
Yes. Let me cook. I reduce all of you to pocket size. I carry you in my pockets. I disguise as a family something something. Teleport in. It's all good. I'm supposed to be an Onderoot. I'm a fellow worker. I shadow walk us to whatever. You guys pop out of my little pockets as humans. And we proceed with the plan. And they see sneaky family person shadow walking. Oh, the sage is free. I wonder if it was that suspicious family person that shadow walked.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I like it. It's just the alibi thing. What if the person is seen at some meeting somewhere or something? Was that something, Athalor, that you can, with the help of maybe me or Hethel, make sure that some traitor's family member is taken care of in some way? Not like in a, kill them way or
Are you
kidnap them way,
serious?
but
Murder someone?
no, not
Oh
at all.
my
Just
God,
like we
Matcha.
know where they are, but not
Wait,
many other people do.
Okay. No judgment. Following up on the murder thing.
Kidnapping.
No, there was a mirror clone of one of Underood's
Oh.
upper classes in the laboratory. If we were to destroy that mirror clone and you were to disguise as that mirror clone, there would be
Yes.
no alibi and there'd be a known element
There'd be like
of...
little mirror fragments on the floor. We can clean. We got a broom.
Those like actually, do they disappear? I don't remember. What happens when a
Mirror
is
clones
destroyed?
shatter into glass, which dissipates shortly thereafter. I will need to consult the VOD to see if, because it was revealed that she was a mirror clone, I need to see if anybody who was down there just fragged her or not.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
But yes.
That's the definition of a traitorous family member.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could also disguise as the traitorous one that's talking to Brontha. And if you were to somehow reveal the secrets that they have been leaking all this shit to Brontha, that would be like, you kind of cover up the lies with actual truth.
So
And
when
if
they
they're
have
like,
an
"Oh."
alibi, no one would
Yeah.
believe them because they'd be revealed as traitorous elsewhere.
Yeah. Maybe on one of the times they go to see the spy master. What were you doing? Well, they're not going to say they were meeting with Brontha.
That would be some excellent timing.
It would. You can figure out that timing, right, Garnet?
Well, we are trying to figure out the contact, and once we do, we could ask the spy master to have an extended meeting.
You can even not have to frame it that way. You can just ask them to have a meeting at whatever time, say that you or one of your contacts are going to show up there so that you know that the person's in place, and then we execute that other plan.
And Inaros can just make sure that they stay in Brontha for
Mhm.
long enough for us to finish. And the spy
Exactly.
master doesn't even have to know.
Yeah, and there might even be a world where we don't get caught during this, and the asset can stay in place. But with you and I knowing who they are.
And if
Guess-
anyone finds out, they would take the fall.
So guess who is still friends with Cryus and can go to their room to get the hat? You.
Hmm?
Points at
It's
Athalor.
Ned. It wasn't Tenon. It was
Oh,
Ned,
is
who's
it him,
Cryus'
Ned?
roommate. Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
that
fine.
one. Yeah.
But Cryus left his room. He relocated.
Oh,
He
like
moved
permanent.
dorms. Yeah, he moved to dorms.
Oh.
He's still in the academy, but he moved to dorms.
Then never mind. I guess just Ned. He's lent me that hat before, though, didn't he? That one time.
I believe
Yes.
so.
Or to ask for it again.
Oh. Well, we've got time for this. We still have to wait. Well, okay. Let's break this up into segments. We have to find the name, get into Underwood, find the sage, and also, as a parallel task, we need to set up cover story and Fall Guy.
Y'all will have to cast the reduce spell on each other because it's concentration. So you guys can make each other smaller or make yourself smaller. Because I have to
Mhm.
focus on the Shadow Walk spell.
Okay.
So I can't be the one casting it. It's concentration. But the hat, I think I can just wear it and it's not a big deal. Yeah. And then you guys can just pop out.
Okay. Then who will concentrate on reducing the sage?
Not me. Not it. Not it. Unless we just get Elle now to shadow walk us out, and then I can do the reduce and carry her.
Wait, Mantra, do you know how to do a twin spell?
I do not, unfortunately.
What meta magic do you know?
Quickened and subtle.
Okay.
Well, Elle now
Hmm.
can maybe do the shadow walk, so I don't have to do that. Or she can do, we have an extra body, so it's a scroll. Anybody can do it here. We'll find somebody to focus on that. Maybe Elle now and I can focus on the Herald too, if that's an issue. Whoever doesn't have something to do should reduce the sage.
I'll likely have to banish the herald with his name, unless I suppose we'll all know it, so it doesn't really matter.
Can you cast banishment?
Don't know.
That might be an Elle now. I know Elle now has it. 90% sure she does.
I believe it's a level 4 spell.
Yep.
So it's
Do I have
second
access to
circle
her spell
magic,
sheet?
which I don't know if you have that yet.
I'm like 90%. Gnomes, you gave me her spell sheet. Does she have banishment?
NPCs, Academy teachers is where you'll find her. In the journal on the right-hand side. But the answer to that is no, she doesn't have it.
What? Oh, she's disintegrate.
Yeah. Which is like banishment.
But you don't come back.
Permanent.
They banish your
Um,
molecules from their component atoms.
Hmm.
I mean, disintegrate wouldn't be too bad, but he is just an illusion of himself. So can't we just dispel his ass?
The current state of the Herald is not well understood at the moment.
From what we saw in the scrying visually.
You didn't see a body, you just saw a shadow, a malevolent form. Not
Part of
even
me
the-
does wonder where a creature banished from the banished plane goes.
Don't care. It's not where we are, which is what's important to escape. Sounds like a later us problem.
Not wrong. Definitely going to be a problem at some point, but later us indeed.
Somebody needs to cast banishment. It's a level 4 spell.
It,
That would be
it might be we need to revert to our previous plan of going in with the adults.
many of them. Probably bring Untermaler. Does Untermaler, do we know if he's cast banishment? Somebody in our group has done
I'm
banishment.
pretty sure Untermaler has cast banishment. As a war mage, he's really good at that stuff.
So his ass should come anyway, because he probably has counterspell, which is useful too.
And
don't
he's
need-
the head diplomat, so would likely be approaching Underwood.
I
Does
could
you want to
probably
make it known that he would be there, though? Or just try to do everything kind of under the radar?
Well, I'm sure if we tell Elle now we want to go face the Herald, she's going to want to bring an army. So talking her down to only Untermaler might be possible. So yeah, if they could come, that would be great.
Hmm.
And then her and I can maybe, because I got the mask that makes me resistant / immune to psychic. So if I can just tank the Herald while you guys reduce, or Elle now can focus on the Shadow Walk. I'll tank the Herald, counterspell from Untermaler, and you guys figure out the Sage thing.
Can the Shadow Walk carry as many people as can walk whatever path it is?
I'll post a spell. It is just a portal, so I see that any object or creature that passes through. So it's only up for 1 minute, so as long as we're all in and out, should be fine.
So you don't have to concentrate on it once you're in the plane of shadow. You have to concentrate on it to hold the door open, and you'll need to open the door on the other side.
Okay.
Oh, it's a ritual, isn't it, right? Shit, so whoever opens it has to keep it open. Damn.
And it takes 10 minutes to cast.
That's a lot of time undisturbed and Underwood.
That's fine. You don't get 10 minutes apiece?
Well, to be fair, we need for 10 minutes anyway to activate the scry. So, that time works out. Mantra will need to activate the orb. You're still attuned to it, yes?
Well,
Mhm.
I'm still going to be disguised, so who cares what I'm up to for 10 minutes as a stranger person?
True, although I don't know if we'll need you disguised if there's a massive minotaur and a sky elf there.
Well, maybe they can just meet us there, you know?
True. Perhaps
Can
they could be
we
instant-
link? Can we link our portals? Ooh,
Can the portals touch?
can our portals touch?
It would depend on the exact specifications of what you're trying to do, because it's not like you open 2 portals and then you cross from one of them in the mortal world to another one in the mortal world. Normally, with some tweaking, it might be possible to try to make that happen. 2 people casting it in the same place, or it's possible, but it would be involve tweaking with the magic.
If Untermola and Elnau came from outside of Underwood, then
She can just teleport to us. We just fucking go there. She teleports to us. She isn't quicker way, right? As long as she shows up. Or teleports to us in the Shadow Walk.
perhaps she casts plane shift from IOTH staff. I don't know if that works into your Shadow Realm walk place.
What does my
Not-
brain say?
As a shadow mage, possibly. The shadow plane doesn't exist the same way the other 4 kingdoms do, so it's not normally accessible via plane shift. It's possible someone who's a trained shadow mage could do it.
Maybe everyone gets reduced and everyone goes in my purse. I'm just gonna carry a party of people.
Okay. Just to think about the earlier problem regarding concentrations, aren't there potions of shrinking?
Probably. There's a potion for everything these days.
Probably.
Just keep
Pretty
chugging
sure
it.
there is. Pretty sure there is.
Like that seems like something there would definitely be a potion for.
Potion of shrinking. Or searching up the catalog, the Amazon catalog of the school.
Potion of reduction.
Oh, 1d4 hours. Yeah.
That
The
would
potion
be
of
very
diminution.
useful.
No concentration required.
Didn't you accidentally use one of those in your Baldur's Gate playthrough, Lemon? I swear there was a moment where you're like,
Maybe.
why is this person like suddenly super short? And it was because of the potion of diminution.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that happened.
But we can't cancel it. That effect. Potion of diminution.
I am willing to be the
Diminution.
hero who is 2 centimeters tall for 4 hours to rescue the sage.
I think it only
Athalor
affects your
says, looking
strength.
wistfully.
It only affects your strength.
It can also be dispelled with dispel magic.
Ah, but if they can't see you, they can't do it. Hide in my pocket, boys.
I mean, if we find those potions of diminution, we could all 4 of us just be there
Imagine
in
just
your
popping out of
pockets.
his pocket.
Is that the entire adventuring party in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
we're gonna do an episode where everyone's voices are like this.
Oh my god, please.
Good murder.
But so everyone's just gonna be small and not be able to unsmall themselves. Do we have a potion of cancel? Potion of
Yeah, you
Scrolls
go
of
on
dispel
Twitter and
magic
you
or
tweet some
something?
shit.
Potion of
cancel culture.
reversal of potions?
I'd guess
Potion of
there'd be some
cancel and a
manner of
potion?
you could probably just cast enlarge on someone and it would cancel out.
So
I
we
don't
need
know
a
how
potion of
magic works.
enlarge?
This is the eat
Scrolls
me,
of dispel
drink me,
magic?
the thing from Alice in Wonderland.
Potion of enlarge. Would this wait? It would put you one size bigger, so you would go back to normal. I was worried that you would just like. be
So
huge.
what happens is if you drink the potion of growth, let's say you have 3 hours left of diminution, and you drink the potion of growth, and you roll 2 hours. That means for 2 hours you're going to be normal size, and then at the end of that hour you're going to shrink again for 1 hour,
Or be bigger for if it's more.
or
growth
also
than-
suddenly be giant size.
Great. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
So are we scrolling the sage or are we force feeding her a potion?
I feel like the potion would be better for getting her and us out without being as detected. Obviously, you want them to see you,
Right.
but not the 5 of us
Well,
in
I
your
was
pocket.
planning on shadow walking back to the academy, not to
Oh,
on the road if possible.
oh, then that would be fine. Yeah, then we probably don't need to give her a potion unless you want to hear a "Oh, thank you for saving me, everybody."
The
for-
power I would have over her. It's
I don't think she would say that anyway. To be
power to
honest,
just
but-
squish her little fucking head.
which would mean we wasted a huge amount of time and effort in rescuing her.
You're right. That would be too tempting. But she'd also have to fail the save, or in real words, she'd have to accept the powers of the scroll. Plan
Okay.
A, tell her to accept it. If she doesn't, plan B, force feed her the potion. She can't do anything about it. She's tied up. So
Okay. Yes, we've all learned a very important thing about planning and consent today. This is going to
drugging my
surprisingly.
teachers. So fun.
Technically not a repeat offense because she's not a teacher at the school.
That's so true. It's allowed. It's allowed.
Is that what that means?
She doesn't go here.
Hmm.
It's fine.
The party now has 2 augury spells they can use. Keep in mind that an augury only affects the course of action you plan to take in the next 30 minutes.
Could augury for just telling out now the entire plan?
Yes, and if you guys wouldn't mind, I'd like to know if I should tell her about this book.
Oh yeah, how many auguries do we have? 2? What
Two.
about the Silent City part?
We're not
I'm
doing
slightly
It has to be
worried.
about
Half
something you're
hour.
doing in the next 30 minutes. It's
Which
a very
in
low
the
level
next
spell.
episode, 30 minutes.
Will that be in the
Guys.
next 30 minutes of game time? It has to be in the next 30 minutes of game time.
Oh, what are we
So, like,
gonna do?
Oh.
Are we gonna just get
Actually-
this shit done? Or?
With
Um,
augury, can't you just like intend to do something for a little bit of time? Just like kind of intend to and see the result? Like,
You can hedge it.
You can do that, but then it's going to be about if you do that right now. So let's say that like
okay, so we
I
don't
don't
actually have all the prep that we needed like right now.
yeah,
so-
or like let's say that Cthulhu happens to be chilling in the Silent City right now, and you say if we go to the Silent City, what'll happen? And it says, whoa, lots of whoa. You're like, well, crap, and then Cthulhu leaves. The answer could change, you know. So
I mean,
it
fair,
it's
fair.
And before we do this, much I hate to say it, Losrian was right. You do need to read that Scroll of High Magic. You and Mantra are likely both going to need to be adept in that to lend your brains to this 9th level ritual.
Fun fact, the
should
spell
I-
is a warlock and wizard spell.
The one from the book?
Oh.
The one from the scroll.
One from...
Oh, so I can't cast
A
it?
Shadowcaster is sufficiently adjacent because it's not like
Oh.
it's third party, so nobody includes it in their stuff. So I'm including it here. But this is a spell that Athalor could learn as well.
Oh.
Now there are applications here where Mason will be able to participate, but it may be more useful for Athalor to copy it into his spell book.
Well, Illusorin said he had it in his spell book / we
Mhm.
could maybe get another copy of this if we need to
Mhm.
do this
Yeah.
in the future. Yeah.
can
I
work
do
that.
I do have up to 8th level spells in my Book of Seosh, I believe. Dominate monsters like 8th level, I think. So it's like I could already almost power it.
But it'd be void magic.
Is that as bad?
Well, it doesn't, as you've learned in the past, it doesn't necessarily interact with things the way that other magic would. And it's
But-
not like people have studied all these applications.
So if I gave a 3rd level spell to this ritual, I'd have to make sure it's not a void spell to avoid
The void.
shit. Avoid void. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
I got that. I got like a dispel magic to throw in for fun.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Send in the counter spell.
So that's, I mean, it's just a spell. It's power. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it's called. All right, let's go tell Elle now, I guess. Anything else
Well,
to discuss?
You
I'm
want to
doing
cash
an
in?
augury.
Let's read those bones.
You have 2
Oh, yeah,
auguries.
do we-
What do you want to spend them on?
Do we want to just do the first one on telling her the whole thing plus the book you have, Ethel, or leave that out of the first one?
Yeah, let's do the whole thing plus the book. And if it's Wheel, then I will feel slightly more comfortable about telling her.
I think it's gonna be Wheel no matter what. It's just how complicated is she gonna make this? It's gonna be great to have an archmage with us.
I mean,
don't-
does it matter if it's if she makes it complicated as long as it works out? I think it would be bad if she's like, no, we can't use this, and then we just like it would make it a lot harder. So that would be woe. I don't know.
Is it gonna woe if she scolds me?
I think it's more of a greater
I don't
good
think
kind
on a
of thing.
cosmic scale that's
Yeah, it's
that
not really
much.
relevant. Yeah.
It's woe for me though. Okay. Well, well, I don't care. Whatever. Let's ask.
Who's asking? Who's rolling the bones?
Oh, could do it. Much good, I suppose.
Look at the bones, Mantra.
All right. What is Wheel or woe if we, myself, Mantra, Garnet, and Athalor, inform Master Ikael now of the plans to rescue the sage that we have talked about and insert time that we've talked about all these plans past hour. Inform Ikael now about the existence of Athalor's book, shadowwalking through the Jaya, with the knowledge that we now have of the apparatus that was down there, shrinking everybody, yada yada yada, the whole thing.
Wheel.
I will take the scolding.
Wheel.
I will do it.
I'll tell her about the
Maybe
book.
there won't even be the scolding. Maybe you dodge that.
Hey, I'm not gonna. I think this is one of our better plans.
I do too, honestly.
Okay. Let's go. Anything else we gotta ask? Okay, good.
All right, you want to head on over?
Oh,
Take
yeah.
us to the spa.
Okay.
Knock knock.
You make your way up to the spire and meet with Master Elnau, who has been in quiet contemplation between meetings.
We
But
got some more
obviously,
bullshit for you.
she looks over at a cupboard where, unbeknownst to all of you, the horn of booze is hidden. Looks wistfully for a moment, and then goes back
It's my
to
mama.
she'll hear you out.
Bye.
Do you just want to say that you tell her everything? You don't have to repeat it all unless it'd be funny.
I want to repeat it all.
Go ahead.
Is she
An
drunk?
Ant-Man Luis
No,
thing.
she's not. She's not. But like out of character, do you want to actually say all of it or just say
Yeah.
it to me? Okay, go for it.
So I think her live reaction would be funny. Hello, we have a plan for the stage. Would you like to hear it? Have you done any progress? You first.
This is the last time that we talked.
Okay, so the plan is I'm gonna wear a hat. I'm gonna disguise myself as one of the traitorous bitches that are leaking information to Brontha. We're gonna set up a meeting where the spy master is gonna meet with the traitor, and have some kind of meeting off the books, but they're not in Onderud. We're gonna either use potions of reduction, whatever. Everyone's
Communication.
gonna shrink. You, Untamalr, you need to be on board with this. We shadow walk we go to Onderud, shadow walk from Onderud to where the sage is, using either Athalor's book where he's able to GPS his way through. We can scry our way, we'll find our way. Once we are there, we shrink the sage also using a potion or just telling her to accept her fate using a scroll. We reduce her so we don't have to mess with the firmament. She goes into my pocket. You and I can deal with the herald, or you can deal with opening the shadow walk door again. I am sort of immune to psychic or resistant. I can maybe take the brunt of him and also counterspell from Untamalr, which may help. And then we get out. We also blame this all on the person that I'm disguised as, and this doesn't fall back on IOTH Academy, or Athalor. The end. What do you think?
If you have any questions, we'll be happy to field them.
I don't think the hat is going to work
Why?
because Onderud, like all of us right now, is on high alert for mirror clone infiltration. It's very likely that at most of their points of entrance and exit, they're going to have countermeasures in place to see through these kinds of spells as end effect. And as some of the best abjurers in the world, they excel at removing counterspelling such effects. So the hat it's not very powerful magic. It's a low level effect. It is likely to be defeated at main
Okay, scroll a
checkpoints.
polymorph of something, object of polymorph.
There's other
Let me
spells that do it, right? That are more powerful, that change
not
your
illusion.
appearance.
Yeah, that are not illusion based, like
I'm
polymorph,
just seeing
right?
if true seeing shows true forms as well. That's like, because a gem of sight, let's see, has true sight. Does true sight beat polymorph? It lets you see their
But-
true form. Yeah, so if they're using
Slight-
true sight, they can actually see you as you are. So let's check the gem of seeing. If it grants you true sight. Yes, a gem of seeing, like the ones that we have to detect mirror clones, will also detect shapeshifting.
Would it detect a bunch of tiny people?
Not necessarily. Detect magic would reveal that, but unless you can see them physically, like if you're obscured by a pocket or a bag or something, it wouldn't work. If they were looking at you and they saw your tiny form, they would see you as you truly are, but they would have to actually see you for that to work. So that is the first problem. That is the first.
What?
Go ahead.
What if, when we figure out who this contact is, we just Garnet, you've done a thing recently where you can just kind of take control of people and things. So
We can all
just-
reduce that
Oh
person's
my
pocket
goodness!
and puppet them around. Watch out, you
The
get
ethical Ethan is suggesting
Nah, okay,
Oh my gosh, because
It's-
then they actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to incriminate anyone. Their dumbass did it.
Okay. So better. First thing to note is that if this contact is an elf or has Fey heritage, which is likely, they will be extra resilient to attempts to control their mind. That doesn't mean that they're immune, but it does mean that they'll be tougher. Okay. Second, does that mean this would be led back to, is there a way that this could be linked back to Brontha? If it is a Onderud agent working for Brontha, freeing the sage who attempted to kill the Onderud head of state, this could, maybe it doesn't blow back on IOTH Academy or on us, but it could lead to a diplomatic incident between Onderud and Brontha.
That's why we would tell them that I can tell them that they've been selling information to Brontha. And that, hey, Brontha, I would never allow this treacherous shit to happen to my good friend's family. I am telling you the truth.
But they have been selling information to Brontha.
And I had no idea this was happening.
But somebody at Brontha did. So now what you're doing is you're causing a diplomatic incident between yourself and the Brontha leadership.
Or maybe they'll focus on the fact that this is their family has some beef with that family, and we just ignore the whole Brontha thing.
I mean, they wouldn't ignore the Brontha thing, though.
Right.
Would they even find out about it?
Do they have to be linked?
Well, that's not guaranteed.
If you did dominate that person's mind, then we would just shadow walk out of there, and they'd still be in Underoos.
I could
links to this.
Dominate this person to go up to the fuckum and have their memories extracted.
So then they would have to go all the way to IOTH Academy. Now, if somebody uses a divination spell to say, have they been to IOTH Academy? The answer comes back as yes.
Bring a member of
better.
Fuckum.
We are getting better. We're getting better here. There's just a lot of layers to it.
With this person, if you mind control them, once we're in Underood, can't we just leave their pockets and shadow walk away and they're just still there?
We could also just go back to Brontha. We could have the spy master meet with that traitor. That's where I dominate them. We go from Brontha to Onderood, as this person normally would somehow, and then
into their pockets.
We return. Then once we return from getting the sage, we go back to Brontha, uncontrol them in the room that they were in, and they're like, "Oh shit, I must have passed out." That's crazy.
Is that how that works when you get on mind control? Do you just kind of forget what you were doing, or do you know that in the back of your mind you just can't do anything?
Well, everybody I've done that to has kind of died. So
yeah, surely there's research on this out there.
It's happened to me. What is it, Gnomes? What did
Athalor person? You do not forget that. You don't forget what happened. It does not say that you lose memory.
Can we maybe convince a member of Fuckum to come with us, and then just once we part ways, just do a little wipey memory?
I also might have a memory extraction solution in this, and I was planning on telling you about this. New spellbook. It's got something in it that we're going to use to help against the Herald.
What?
Oh, you know this part. This is Athalor's new spellbook that he's telling El now about. Because to make the banish more powerful, we might be able to find his true name.
Ta-da!
Assuming there's some dream toxin that is still available somewhere.
Athalor. Which would make vanishing very good.
Yeah. Can I borrow that book real quick?
Wouldn't recommend reading. He hands over the book.
Yeah, actually be really careful with that. Very, very careful.
No, I will. And she casts Disintegrate on the book.
I'm not even going to counterspell it. I don't know why she did that. I'm too stunned.
We pray in the wheel.
Y'all, what I say, the scolding. Why'd you do that?
So how long have you had this, and what have you discussed around it?
Everything we just mentioned to you.
Okay.
We needed that.
So the Book of the Still Tongue. Who do you think made it? What's the general vibe that you're getting?
Infernals, we read it.
Right. Great. Which infernal do you think?
Oh, there's different handwriting, so probably a lot.
Okay, but one of them made the book, not the contents of the book, the book. Who are we thinking made this book?
Snakes are
Oh,
pretty tonguey.
sneaky boy.
Right. And what does the serpent love more than anything else?
Information.
Knowledge.
Correct. So
Knowledge.
everything that you have said since you attuned to this book, the serpent now knows.
Oh, it's a good job it was just
So-
this plan.
Good thing he doesn't care about the heralds and probably would enjoy us killing him.
Can we guarantee
But now
that?
also would know that this book is destroyed now, right? So
Correct. Would be
Mhm.
aware of that as well.
Wait,
so
he's
what do we
been.
do now? Who knows?
This has been. This book had a wire.
Yes.
Athalor, you dumbass!
What?
You identified it. You could
Yeah.
identify
Wouldn't
the
have been-
fucking wire.
It wouldn't
It
have been
didn't-
included in that. This is a legendary item created by the Infernal of Secrets. It's not going to cooperate
And
with
I
our
didn't
mortal
identify
spells.
it. A Lozarin identified it.
Oh, well, there's
Also
your
true.
problem.
The item was created by a spell. You learn which spell created it. Wouldn't that kind of tell us what created
Not
it?
if it's a minor artifact.
What? Really?
Yeah, level 1
Well-
spell versus an infernal and a legendary item. Yeah.
Hmm.
This one had a little curse writing on it.
And you knew that instantly from looking at it?
Mm. This is not the first time one of these has made it inside these walls.
Well, why would he
Oh.
care about what happens to the herald?
Well, what do you think the point is that the serpent could use this information now against us in some capacity. Any aspect of the plan, if the serpent saw fit to send an ambush to that point, or if the serpent wanted to trade with someone in Onderud Refuge for information that the serpent wants in exchange for betraying this plan. to
Well, we've
them.
had that book since Defraxis, so nothing's happened yet.
Was anyone attuned
haven't
to it
been-
at that time?
It has to be
What?
attuned
Yes.
for him to hear.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, it didn't leave the room during that time.
Yeah. Just,
Okay, it's still Wheel. We asked the augury and he said this was Wheel.
Probably
we're-
because we destroyed this bad book.
And the plan is still good.
I wonder what would have happened if we admitted the book information now. Would it have just been woe? Probably.
Entirely possible. Okay.
Should we ask the augury if the if this plan's gonna work now?
It only kicks in for actions you're going to take within 30 minutes.
Well,
in
the
game
good news
time.
is we
I'm
don't
ready
have
to
to
go.
wait for we don't have to go to the Silent City anymore.
Oh, that's a fun trip to skip, I guess.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel guilty about consuming any souls.
Hey,
Well-
we could also hit 2 birds with 1 stone or 2 infernals with 1 stone, am I right?
Ow.
Kill both. Well, the snake would
How?
kill up, and then we could kill both
The
infernals.
snake is
Wait, we're killing infernals now?
The snake would never put themselves in a position where they're exposed like that.
And perfect. Then he either doesn't interfere and we're good, or he interferes and we kill him. Both.
So
Sounds like a
this
win-win. Wheel.
makes things dramatically less complicated. The new plan is potentially that this traitor goes to the meeting. We each take a potion of diminution, hop into some manner of thing that they're transporting, get transported back to Underwood with them, and then from there, use the Orb of Scrying to locate the Sage, shadow walk to her, then shadow walk back to IOTH Academy from that location.
Right.
And then the Herald is there, still existing.
So we are not going to try and blame this on the other. Or I mean, how would they know who did it? So do we even need to do this whole disguise shit?
It's best to
I think
have layers of protection for ourselves.
I think it's mostly just for us to get into Underwood without being representatives of IOTH Academy. It's easier to do that if we know someone who's going to be going back to Underood who is known to them that we can sneak in with.
But even
Wait,
if
we
they're
do
known
this-
to, even if they're known to Android and they're somewhere where they shouldn't be, then they might be like too suspicious and might get questioned and things like that as well. Like, how many people actually down there in the laboratory area and have, you know, close access to that whatever device we saw?
Literally 2, Hatterai and Lamriel. Do you know how many layers of defenses were on that place to kill anybody who showed up?
Also, I don't even think I need to be close to the person to like. I'll be close to have to dominate them, but I can
Mhm.
control them from far away. I'm pretty sure.
I believe so.
So I just
As
take
long
this,
as the two of you are on the same plane of existence. So if you're both an Android, you're good.
But Android's another plane, technically.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Not 100%, but kind of.
So this spell would not work, kind of.
So let's say
If I
you
wasn't an Android.
dominate this person, and then they take you to Onderud, and you're inside Onderud, and you hop out. You'd still maintain mental control as long as both of you are still inside Onderud.
Okay,
If
that could be a
One
way.
of you if either of you leaves Onderud, the connection will either be broken or wibbly wobbly. You remember
Yeah,
that
we'll
one little
just-
thing with the teleportation that went wrong because the gyre was exploding?
Okay, so have him meet me in the seer, and then
Mhm.
dominate. Have him escort us to Underwood, all shrunk in his pockets. Open the shadow door in like the bathroom. Have him like wake up in the bathroom from whatever, and then he won't
We'll
know.
leave with the sage.
And we leave with the sage back to Ioth.
If the sage is not distracted by defending herself, she should have access to all of her magic. And would therefore maybe be able to gate us out of there. And
Hopefully not kill us all.
Well, we might have to just hope that she can rest. I mean, she's probably been defending herself for a while and might not be
Mhm.
useful. So
yes.
if you, Elnau, could just open the portal and keep it open,
Mhm.
and then
That's 1 minute.
Untumaler. Oh. Well,
The
then
shadow
open
gate,
it back
1
up.
minute.
Open it back up, I guess.
Mhm.
Unless you want to. One of us has to do the shadow walk.
One of the two of us. Each instance of Shadow Walk has to be one of us.
But then, so we're going to have to do the ritual while trying to save the sage?
Mhm.
We can't keep it open?
It's only open for a minute. So
Oh,
it would
but-
have to be in out.
Yeah, I guess we can
And-
open it at the destination, like before we go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Have it open for a minute. Is there anything we have that can extend that somehow? Extended duration of a spell, item, potion effect?
Let me see if Elna's a sorcerer. Let me see if her meta magic includes that.
So
No.
to be clear, what we're
Mhm.
suggesting here is 2 simultaneous shadow walks from that bathroom, one to the sage and one to IOTH Academy. Go
Just
in,
like
grab the sage.
one from the bath or whatever, from Underwood to the sage. Once
Mhm.
before we get to the sage, we have to open another door because it's going to take us
Because-
more than 1 minute to
Mhm.
walk and figure out where we're going. Open it, immediately jump through, grab the stage, come back through the portal, close it.
And now we're in the shadow
Do-do-do-do-do,
plane.
back to Ioth or
Here's the shadow
wherever.
plane.
Open the door again.
Okay. I have no idea how that works, but if you two believe it will, then you're the leading sources on this.
Well,
Yes.
it's now we have to talk about how we're exactly going through the shadow plane to the sage, right? Because if we don't get to that, apparatus area under the gyre and that, workshop area, then it's going to be a lot harder to locate her, right? And then it's going to be also really hard to get whoever this contact is who's been trading information with Brontha, hard to get them into that place undetected.
Has to be in that workshop. It can't just be anywhere from Underwood.
It would be easier from a workshop, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we could go from anywhere in Underwood.
Feasible from Underwood, but it'd be a lot more likely if we're actually in there. Just might not be possible to get in there.
Yeah, getting
Well-
into the workshop is much harder than it makes this easier.
Well, I think
Potentially,
we can
yeah.
just be in Onderood and
Okay.
figure our way out shadow walk wise. I think that would be less risk, and we'd have more time to figure out our way through than if we get caught in our way to the workshop or
The
whatever.
workshop catches us itself. It's
But I
defensive
can control
charms
him,
and
but I don't know what the what behavior I should be having as a whatever he is. So I might not be good at acting or puppeteering. So
How much
avoiding
information is the spy master willing to give you about this person?
And are you planning on involving Seer, the spy master of Brontha? Because they may not be willing to risk their asset. And if they find out that you, who are a important denizen of Brontha, is doing this against the interests of Brontha, that could bite you in the ass.
we could tell the seer that we have I don't know, that we have questions for I have questions for this contact and interests for
Mhm.
my friend, or that I have information to give this person with concern for my friend.
But the plan,
With all my-
regardless, is that we are lying to the spy master, and we are not including them in the plan. The plan is going to circumvent or manipulate them, right?
Well, they have the priest king's interest. I don't think they have mine or ours. So
I'm just saying that introduces a new level of risk, because if they discover, and spies are, that is their entire job, is to find things out. If they find this out, then that could cause a diplomatic incident between IOTH Academy and Brontha, or put your future at risk.
we could. I mean, we can just wait for the meeting to be done and
Mhm.
catch the guy on his way out of the meeting, which is also
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah. And if
I-
Lozrin's in the meeting, Lozrin can tell you when the meeting's over and when they're heading out. Right? Not Lozrin, sorry, the other
Inaris, yeah.
Inaris, that one.
Yes.
The Marshal is your ally. I assume there's some manner of customs checks before leaving Brontha. They could take them aside into a place where we could potentially hop on board, as it were.
We'll just find him somewhere alone in the bathroom or wherever he may be. And
Always ends up in the bathroom.
I don't know. That's where men go to be alone. Right?
We
Precious
also
time in the
have
bathroom.
bedrooms.
Athalor, where do you like to be alone?
My room.
Well, he doesn't have a room in Pratha, so bathroom it is.
And he was probably never roommates with a world bending evil, so different strokes for different folks.
Well, this plan sounds good.
Let's work on
Um,
this. Let's work with this. Let's iterate on this. And what's our time frame? I guess it all depends on how soon we find out about the spy, right? Are there any other? What are other restrictions? We need I can get the potions. I'm going to have to work with Untermaler on this to assess the risk.
Told you guys it'd be no fun.
We're hoping that Untermoller will be able to potentially re-banish the Despair's Herald that is currently holding the Sage.
Is an infernal. They're not easy to make them go away. That is the Sage at her full power, being even odds or less. Untermaler is good, but he's not the child
That's-
of Luminius.
That's the Herald's weakened state anyway.
We don't know very much about the weakened state.
Well, we know it's not powerful enough to unravel the sage or get to her.
Mhm.
So how could it be at defending itself?
Banishment is a function of will. In game terms, it's a charisma saving throw.
In game terms, I could also silvery barbs and fuck
True.
them.
True. Yeah. There are absolutely steps that can be taken. It's just not. I just don't want you to take this as a certainty. All right.
In game terms, you could just legendary resistance.
Yes, that one.
We just need him to fuck off long enough for us to get in, reduce, grab, get
Mhm.
out. We don't actually have to fight him.
We just need
Just
to
to make
survive and prevent, which it's a big unknown. Very big unknown. I'm not
One
saying
minute's
no.
like 6 rounds, so we got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
in-game time to do this, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, the more time you have, the more time he can fuck with you. So there's a lot
Like I
right.
said, I'll tank it. I got psychic fuckery. I think I have the highest wisdom of the party. But
You
yeah,
have the
I'm at
mask
+3.
of psychic resistance.
They're higher than me.
Yeah, so I think his stuff is usually wisdom saving throws, which
Wisdom
I'll
or
be best
charisma,
at.
which you have good charisma
Which
on.
yeah.
But the
and
number,
then-
remember also the numbers are, the DCs on that shit is just absolutely bullshit. It's just not fair.
Yeah, well, yeah, like
Just take a circle, +5. That'll be
It's
good
just
enough.
actually, the
Fairly
circle is kind of
copium.
busted in that
draw a
regard.
circle on my forehead so I can bring it.
All right. We'll work on this plan. We'll see if your contact can find out the identity of the spy. I will talk with Untermaler to figure out where we stand on this and what the risks are, and if there's anything we can do to make this less dangerous or easier to pull off. But I think other than that, we prepare and we wait, right?
Right, I'll go hit up Anaros to see if he found anything.
In the last few hours,
Okay.
probably not, but maybe by tomorrow or the day after that.
To have something to do for the next 8 minutes and poke Anaros.
I have an idea about finding the sage a touch more precisely.
Mhm.
We're planning on scrying her, so that's how we
Mhm.
found her before. But the scry creates a sensor, and if this crystal ball creates the same sensor every time, then a locate object should be able to find it, and might well be useful in conjunction with this map I have in my book as well for trying to find it.
It would need to be a modified version of locate object. The scrying sensor isn't an object in the traditional sense.
Her
Corporeal
lantern
sense.
works fine.
The lantern would
Locate her
work
lantern.
unless it's immune. I'm not sure if it's immune or not to such things. The scrying sensor is still a good idea. It just might involve some spellcraft because it's
You
not.
linked it to me once, the lantern, because
Yeah, it
I
should
had
be
a
in the
nat 20
side.
on something.
Mhm.
Shouldn't be immune to that.
Under
The light.
items. Light of truth.
Immune
Yep.
to all nightmare and harmful oniromantic effects.
Okay, you should be able to find it. If it doesn't say it blocks divination effects, then you should be able to find it.
Plus, it has a big ass aura, so it should be. I think
Mm-hmm.
would be pretty easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
That works. We have multiple GPS options.
By
So-
using them together, we should be able to triangulate her location in a very confusing non-Euclidean space that only some theoretically exists.
I have the closest thing to a map.
Okay.
And the mind that understands this the best.
You're just gonna have to teach me all types of behavior stuff. So when I make him enter Onderud, I say hello and whatever mannerisms you guys do and walk like an elf, talk like an elf,
Oh, this is going to be fun.
I hate it.
Very.
Okay.
You're already halfway there, princess.
Yeah, I know how to walk, but not talk like an elf. Okay, so if banishment doesn't work, are we just gonna hope we get out in time kind of thing?
But so far,
We'll try to do better than that. Like I said, Untermaler and I will see what countermeasures we can concoct.
Okay.
You focus on your part, we'll focus on our part, we'll compare notes so we're all on the same page before we proceed. You let me know as soon as you hear back from Inaros.
Do we just want to fast forward to that then?
No, because we're going to fast forward to Athalor receiving a letter.
Oh shit! I know what you did last summer.
Back in our rooms, back in our dorms, Mason, I was going to have the headmistress hold you back to have a conversation with you, but we've already established a time paradox where you need to be making out. So please note that the headmistress has something to talk to you about later.
Cool.
left on red.
Left on red. In the meantime, Athalor, we move forward to a scene where a caretaker knocks on your door while you are by yourself, studying magic, going through the ashes of the really cool artifact you had that you could have kept. And there's a knock at the door for you, and a scroll is delivered in a sealed tube with a wax seal with red wax and an insignia you have not seen before. It depicts a chain and 4 sets of hands interclasped with each other.
Before I get into this, could I
Mhm.
try and roll an intelligence check to see if I remembered any spells from that book?
Yeah, roll an intelligence check, and I'll give you the list that you can research if you want. 14. Yeah.
Why shouldn't I raise inspiration there?
18. Okay, I'll give you the list, and you might be able to piece together. It's not like you have them in front of you, but
Yeah.
there might be some recovery possible here.
Okay, I look upon the seal.
Mhm.
Nowhere in Athalor's mind is it seemingly sparking any memories, so
Mm-mm.
cracks it open, unfurls the scroll, and sits down at what is now a much larger desk, considering he doesn't have to share this room, and begins reading.
It's written in beautiful Althar script, and I just put it up in front of you.
Dear Athalor, we trust this message reaches you in good health amidst your academic pursuits at IOTH Academy. Urgency and gravity underscore our correspondence as we convey our concerns. The Ununderwood's family's grip on power stands at a precipice, a reality we trust you grasp. Recent intrusions by infernal agents, the use of the Book of Dawn to drain our refuge's power, and Diffraxis' mechanical onslaught have exposed our vulnerabilities. Adorai on Underwood's leadership is under duress, exacerbated by the enigmatic transformation of his brother, Lamriel. The formation of a Crimson Council reflects our unwavering commitment to restore order, rectify mismanagement, and reinstate Underwood as a potent force in Anacra. We implore your cooperation, seeking your insight and information regarding IOTH Academy. Your contribution will not go unnoticed. In return, we promise to safeguard your family's legacy and Underwood's prosperity. Time is of the essence. The fate of Underwood depends on your response. We trust in your wisdom and loyalty to our realm. Guided by the Gyre, the Crimson Council. What?
And we'll find out more about that on our next episode of Book of Dawn, IOTH Academy. Don't go anywhere, folks. Detention starts shortly.